Welcome folks to the Cuttlebrook Cup. This is a brand new competition that we've got going this year, and it's basically a 3-day festival based over the River Trent on Cuttlebrook, Ingleby and Branston. All waters controlled by Burton Mutual Angling Association, and it's an absolutely fantastic stretch of the river. We've got 60 of the UK's best river anglers. You've got Cameron Hughes, Sean Ashby, Dave Harrell, Adrian Whittle, just to name a few. So as you can imagine, this really is a title that these guys want to add to their names. It's basically a rotation, as we said, over Cuttlebrook, Ingleby and Branston, and I really cannot wait to see who's going to win this one. The weather's glorious. We have had a slightly swollen river, so it's up in the air. We don't know how it's going to go. The first day is going to be the test for a lot of people because the river was up last night. We decided to run the festival anyway because it's still safe, and I really cannot wait for this one. So stay tuned, folks. I'm sure it's going to be a belter.
Hello everybody, join me today on the banks of the River Trent on the Cuttlebrook Cup. It's a brand new event, quite popular to be honest. There's quite a few anglers on it, about 60 or something like that. Really interesting. We've got like 3 different bits of river to fish. We've got Ingleby, Cuttlebrook and Branston Golf Course. So it's all like the upper sort of reaches of the Trent before it gets to the middle river. It's quite high today. I would say there's at least 2 foot on this. And I've drawn a peg it's not the best, to be honest. It hasn't had any form on any of the matches. It's very deep, like 16, 17 foot deep. Comes on a big bend, and I've got all the flow coming inside and it's all boiling up. It's a bit messy. I'm just hoping that I can get a bit of scope from catching just whatever I can, either on a feeder, because that's probably the only thing I'm going to do today, on a feeder, or maybe have a chance of fishing for a big fish later on. I'll see. I'm going to plumb a pole feeder up in a minute, just see what it looks like on the bottom. And yeah, hopefully have a couple of better days after this one. But it's a swollen river. We don't know how it's going to fish. It doesn't normally get fished at this height, so anything could happen. You know, like big fish come out when it's like this, so then they obviously change things. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a great day. Looks like it's going to be a good competition, so can't wait to get started, to be honest.
Hi, it's Sean Ashby. I'm on the 3-day festival at Cuttlebrook and Ingleby and Branston, run by Gary Rogers. Obviously the river's got a touch of water in it, probably it's over 2 foot probably. I've drawn peg 11 down at Cuttlebrook. It's not inspiring me that much, but at the end of the day it'll be a low weight affair, and I think there are chub here, so I'm going to fish for chub and dace and see what happens really. I've got maggots, I've got worms, I've got luncheon meat, and see what happens.
Today this is the first day of the new Cuttlebrook Cup. Fantastic competition. 3 days on 3 separate venues rotating. Today I've drawn peg 1 at Cuttlebrook, which sometimes is a real good peg, but after Saturday's rain everybody will be struggling today. The river's a bit high, especially below the Dove confluence where we are. It's about 2.5 foot of water in the river, and the colour's not bad, but it's just a bit too powerful, a bit too boily to line any amount of fish up. The peg behind me, which is mine, peg 1, is only about 3.5 foot deep down the edge, and it's an absolute boil pit today, but it's a good competition, so let's make the best of it.
Close my eyes, I can see it, your head. Hello, I'm Dave Harrell. Welcome to day 2 of the Cuttlebrook Cup, or as Gary calls it, Cuttlebrook Cup. How did day 1 go? Well, Gary has a habit of filming me after disastrous day 1s. I had the same on the River Wye back in February, and yesterday was a terrible day for me. It was always going to be that sort of match. The river was carrying extra water. I drew peg 5 on the golf course. The river was way too high for the peg. And as a consequence, I had a little short run down to some trees that were hanging in the water. Terrible day. 14 fish for £2.2. So enough said about that one. Today I've drawn a better peg, an interesting peg, peg 1 on the downstream end of Ingleby. I've never ever drawn this sort of area before, but I knew it was quite deep. But I've just been plumbing up, and you've got probably 14 to 15 foot of water, a couple of 3 rod lengths out, so an interesting one. I've set up a 17-foot rod with a bolo rig, 5 gram. I'm just going to set up a big stick, a hybrid stick, 14 number 4, and I shall put a pole or a long whip up as well. Spoke to the chap about it yesterday, Matt Hall. £6 odd yesterday, just fishing on a whip close in. Completely different day today. The river's dropped a lot. I can see what it did in terms of like fishing close, but today the colour's better for fishing out in the river, and I think maybe, just maybe, I might have a better day. We can't do much worse, can we? Let's hope for the best. But great to see these events evolving. 60 peg events like this always go down well. You know, we've had festivals all over the country now, but this is the first one in this region, and long may they continue. So here's to a good day. Good luck to everybody.
Hi, I'm James Robbins. I'm fishing the second day of the fantastic Cuttlebrook Cup, and yesterday I drew on the section at the golf course at Branston. I drew peg 32, which was a steady peg. I was pleased about it, and managed to do quite well. I was second in my section, so I secured some good points with £6.12, mainly dace, a few roach. Had some pipe trouble which caused me a few problems, but obviously pleased with my result yesterday. Today I'm at the Ingleby roadside section. This is peg 17. I believe £7 was caught off it yesterday. It's not one of the favoured pegs perhaps in the section, but it looks all right. Obviously this section of the river is quite powerful and pacey, and in contrast to yesterday where I fished a pole, today I'm going to be fishing a running line, probably a stick float and a bollo, maybe a whip. So yeah, I'm going to give it my best shot. I've got my box in the river, so I've managed to get my box out, hopefully so I can see down my peg and give it a good shot. So it's a brilliant competition. Thanks to Gary for organising it. It's fantastic to be back on this stretch of river. I haven't fished this stretch for probably 30 years. We used to fish winter leagues on here, big competitions. So I've really enjoyed coming back to this stretch of the river. So thanks to Gary and his team.
Right, I'm Hadrian Whittle. We're here on the banks of the Upper Trent for the Cuttlebrook Cup. It's a new 3-dayer run by what's your name, Gary? That's one of his nicer names. Anyway, so we're yeah, it's a new 3-dayer, great event, fantastic stretches of water. Obviously we're at Branston Golf Course today. The other two venues are Cuttlebrook and Ingleby. I was at Cuttlebrook yesterday, had an absolutely mint day's fishing, to be honest. Drew a peg which was just perfect on the day, just goes round a corner, all the flow going away from you, 5 foot deep over gravel, and just had a great day catching dace mostly early and then roach late for £26. So that set me up for today with a nice section win to kick off a festival and a match win. And today we've drawn peg 5 at Branston, which is, yeah, it looks, to be fair, it looks and fishes really nicely. Dave Arrell had it yesterday and didn't have a very good day, but the river's dropped, I reckon it's dropped 6-8 inches, and it's just taken that bit of pace off. So hopefully, and I don't think it's going to be great here, but hopefully I can catch sort of £7 or £8 and get decent points and keep myself in the running.
morning everyone. You join me today, day 3 at, where am I today? Cuttlebrook Peg 5 on the Cuttlebrook Cup, which is the first, hopefully first of many this year. I'll run you through the first 2 days before I let you know what I think about today. So day 1 I was at Branston, peg 16, with the extra water on. It's a really fast peg. There was a little crease close in on stick float. I had a steady day really. I think I had 43 fish for £6.4, 6.4, which was third in the zone in my section, which was a bit of a result I felt from the peg. Couldn't really, might have got another point. There was a 7.2, but it's always easy afterwards. Day 2 we went to Ingleby peg 6, again with the extra water. Looked a little bit tricky peg, but I did fancy it when I got there. It was 13 foot deep off my rod end. I set up to fish to hand, a pole feeder over the same line, and then a bollo for later on running down the peg. Everything went to plan really. I had a great start, caught a couple of skimmers, better skimmers up to a pound. Ended up with 7 of those, from sort of 4 ounce to that one that was a pound, plus some lovely roach, 4 ounce to 14 ounce the roach were. Slowed up towards the end, but so the last 40 minutes got real tricky, but we'd still get an odd bite. You know, it was good fishing, can't complain at all, which ended up weighing £20.4, which was enough to win the zone and also the day, so a great result yesterday, really enjoyed that. On to today, day 3, Cuttlebrook peg 5, like I've already mentioned. There's some good pegs in this zone, pegs 1 and 2, and also 12 and 13 I think have been catching some fish, but having said that, my peg had £11 first day, which was I think third in the zone, so there is a chance. Basically the same again, with the extra water you can only really fish close, up to about 8 metres out I'm going to fish today. There seems to be a little line there that's not too bad, float goes down the peg nice. I'm probably going to start on a feeder though, because when I qualified for the Rose Bowl Cup I was only a couple of pegs below, and there was plenty of chub showing that day. It was a little bit different day, but you never know, they do live in this area, so hopefully if everything goes to plan I'll catch a few fish again and get another good result.
Hi, I'm Brad. I'm here at Cuttlebrook stretch of the River Trent on the Cuttlebrook Cup 3-dayer. Today's day 3, and it's been a bit of a mixed one so far for me. So I was on Branston first day, which is like a lovely, shallower, sort of slower moving stretch of the river. I know the weather's meant that the river's been quite high, which has made life a little bit awkward. Branston was a lovely first day draw really, and I've drawn peg 30, which seems to be my favourite spot. I've been there 4 times and had that 3 times now. I had a nice day. I had £5 of mostly dace, and that was third in my section of 9, so a fairly steady start, so I was pretty happy with that. I think £7 won the section, no £8 won the section, 7 was second, and I think I was third with 5. And then yesterday was the disaster. That was moved on to Ingleby, and I drew on the early numbers peg 2, so 1 off the end. I had Mr Dave Harrell on peg 1, which was, so I learnt a few things there. And unfortunately it's mega deep. It's about 12-13 foot straight out in front, and with the river being up it was just an absolute torrent basically. I put my heaviest float I had in my bag and it was like a leaf blown on the top, so I mostly fished pole feed all day because it was about the only thing I could present a bait with. Massively undergunned unfortunately. I don't own bollos and things like that, so it's definitely one for the shopping list for next time. Really struggled. I had three odd pound and just beat 1 basically. Yeah, I'd struggled the day before. I think it came last in section the day before, so I wasn't expecting much, but there was definitely a few there to be caught because the lads either side of me had a few on the bollo. Some lovely roach. Probably only had 15 fish for £3.5, so a nice day. And that leads us on today, so a bit of a cricket score yesterday, so I think the festival's more or less over unfortunately. I'm hoping for a nice day to finish, and I've drawn a lovely peg 14 here at Cuttlebrook, so a bit more my thing. It would be a nice pole peg I think. It's a bit slow moving, probably got about 8 foot, still quite deep. It's pushing through quite fast, but a 2 gram float's probably going to be the business today I think. And yeah, so hopefully we'll have a few. They had a few yesterday, had £10 a bits yesterday, so a nice day. I think it was about 2nd or 3rd in the section, so hoping for a day like that ideally. It'll be a nice way to finish, and you know, it's been a lovely competition, and the lads have done really well. It's been some great weights to be honest. You know, Adrian had £26 the first day, so some really good fishing. But we'll see today, fingers crossed for a decent day.
Hi, I'm Ian Donnelly. I'm on the Cuttlebrook Cup, which has been fished on Burton Mutual Angling Association waters at Branston, Ingleby and Cuttlebrook. Day 1 I drew peg 31 at Branston and had a pretty much terrible day catching tiny little chub. Yesterday I do peg 22 at Ingleby, which again I sort of quite fancied, but all I could catch start with was gudgeon, which I suppose was nice, but I fed a stick in bollow line and went on to it after about a couple of hours, hoping to catch, but never had anything on it really, so I was just reduced to catching gudgeon again. But today I've drawn peg 13 at Cuttlebrook, which actually can be quite a nice peg. It's quite steady and deep close in. There's a nice crease going out from that tree. So hopefully, fingers crossed, might have a better day today. I'm going to keep things pretty simple. I've got a bollow rod, a heavy stick float, a light stick float and a pole rig for perch closer in. And that's about it really. But I've got to say a big thank you to Burton Mutual. Both myself and Gary are on the committee for letting us use the water. It's fished pretty well actually. Some nice double figure weights over the previous 2 days. We've got plenty of water to go at. Membership's open at the moment, so feel free to join.
Close my eyes, you're looking back at me. As real as autumn air, I take and breathe. Try as you might, but you can't hide from me. I know all the beauty that you keep. other's beauty that I've seen. There is none more beautiful than you to me.
We're going on to the main frame. Before we go onto this main frame, paid directing. Yep. So these, all these people that I announce now will have to come and see Gary because he needs to pay you by BACS transfer or bank transfer. So that's all. That's what he's told me to do. So before we move on, I'd just like to say there's one gentleman that would have loved to fish this, and as Gary announced on the first day, he sadly passed away. Roger Smith probably would have picked up the odd envelope, good friend of mine, and hopefully we'll be having a memorial match in his memory. So let's move on to 10th overall. With 10 points and a combined weight of 23 pounds 3 ounces is Kelvin Tallett. Hey? That's £100. Cheers, mate. 9th overall, picking up £150 with 9 points and £17 11 ounces is Paul Jeffrey. Cheers, mate. I'll go that way. Thank you very much. Right. 8th overall. Unfortunately, they've got to share the £200 purse.
No, there's two of them 500, I think. There's two. Should be 2 envelopes to both on. There you go. Them 2.
That's 7th. This is 8th.
Yeah, but they're the same weight. So they get both that money.
Right. So you're going to combine your £200 and your £300 with a combined weight and 9 points of £31 7 ounces is Steve Cole and Stu Rayner. Cheers, mate. There's one. And there's that one. Cheers. No, these are just, unfortunately, you get your money transferred. 6 overall, with 9 points. £33 12 ounces, picking up £350 is Tony Watling. You've had a nice series, mate. You have.
I've had worse weeks.
Thank you. 5th overall, with a £500 prize money, 7 points in total, with £22 11 ounces, is Matt Hall.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. 4th overall, picking up a nice purse of £650 with 7 points, weighing £28 10 ounces, is James Robbins. Cheers, matey. Thank you very much. We're getting into big money. 3rd overall, picking up £900 with 7 points, weighing £35 12 ounces, is Cam Hughes. Cheers, mate. Thank you. And also, I presume, that one. Pass it over. No, you can't have that. Take that one. You get a trophy for 3rd place. Thank you very much. Right, moving on to the runner-up. Picking up a nice £1,200 with an accumulated total of 7 points, with £37 3 ounces, is Tim Kinson. Cheers, mate. Hold on, mate. And you want that? Even though there's a note on it.
I need a picture of it.
Right then, gents. The first name to go on to this Cuttlebrook Cup and picking up a total of £1,500. £1,800.
Any advance on 1,000?
No, with 5 points, weighing £47 5 ounces. The winner of the lovely cup, will it stay to pieces?
Yeah, off the lid.
Well, don't bother about that. This cup, along with his money, is Adrian Whittle. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. And you've also got that as well. Don't know how you're going to do it. Yeah, now you've got to turn and face him. And there's your, so you know what you've got. Right, gentlemen. I'd like to thank you all on behalf of the Burton Mutual Angling Association for fishing this festival, for Gary and for everybody else. I think it's been successful. Unfortunately, on the Monday you had the river carrying quite a bit of water. But as the week's gone on, it's dropped off. I've been asked to point out that if you do wish to join Burton Mutual, membership is now open. There are a lot of club matches, not big money like these, but there are a few club matches, and of course it gives you a chance to practice these venues when Gary puts them on in the future. So on behalf of the club, the helpers that have helped Gary and Gary Rogers, thank you for attending this tournament.
Right, as you can see, I've actually only gone and won this Cuttlebrook Cup. First year it's run on the Burton Mutual waters. What can I say? I'm absolutely made up. It's been a great 3 days, great competition. So it's a brand new competition in the calendar, so hopefully it'll run for many years to come. So hopefully mine won't be the first and only name on the trophy. It's all right, they're off to get Gary.
So for 3 days, Bob.
So yeah, well, day one was just classic day, gorgeous peg. I fished it very like the Y, to be honest. I got there, the river was up, the main river was flying through, but had a lovely inside line where I could fish 7 to hand. Caught on that for about 3 hours, and then switched to stick float where I caught for the last 2 hours. Caught some big roach. Just dream days fishing, to be honest, for £27 or an ounce under £27. Day two was character building. Branston golf course was really hard. I think 3 hours in I probably had £2 in the net, really struggling. And then out of the blue just had a run of big days for about half an hour, which got me to £5, and ended up second in the section, so kind of got away with one there, to be honest. And then I stayed overnight on the Monday, and then I had to go home last night, and I woke up at 3 in the morning. Had a nightmare that I drew peg 8. Now, anyone who's been here will tell you what peg 8's like. Now, last time I came to Ingleby, I drew peg 8, and I actually jumped up in my sleep and was like, Christ, I've only gone and drawn it this morning. Now, the fact that I drew it last time I was here, I think was, well, I don't think I could have won this trophy if I hadn't drawn it last time, because it's up to 16 foot deep, full of boulders. It's like a big bomb hole in the river, really. But downstream, you've got loads of room. So I plumbed it up downstream today, well down, sort of 20, 25 metres down. And it shallows back up. So I just decided to fish that, ladled loads of hemp and maggot in. And fortunately, the dace liked it. Caught 14.11 on waggler, which was enough for second in the zone, and enough to win the festival. So yeah, absolutely made up. And just like to say thanks to everyone, Gary for running it, all the guys on the scales, everyone who helped, and obviously Burton Mutual for putting up with us for 3 days. Great stuff.